knows it's time for liftoff.
T-minus 10.
Come on.
8, 7, 6,
5.
4,
Come
3,
on.
2, 1, 0. Ignition. Liftoff. Liftoff.
Come on. Let's get going. So much to do.
Get ready.
There we go.
Hold on to your hats. Strap on your seatbelt. Fasten your seatbelts. Hold on to your
And
hats.
get ready for the ride of your life.
The show with no name time.
Where?
On Vaughn Radio.
Oh, yeah.
It's a show with no name.
Woo-hoo. Come on. Let's go. Welcome, show with no namers from all around the world. It is an honor and a pleasure to have you here with us today, learning English, laughing, playing. And don't forget, you've got tons of other amazing programs here on Vaughn Radio to teach you English, to inform you, to get you excited about learning English and languages in general. I think all of us, we're word nerds, or to say it in a more proper way, we are linguists. We love playing with words and languages and etymologies. So welcome, fellow word nerds, fellow show with no namers. Also, I want to apologize. Yesterday, those of you who tried to join us in the live stream, we had some technical difficulties, some glitches, as we say. Yeah, a glitch is like an electrical or a technical problem. So we had a couple glitches yesterday. The good thing, the audio is fine. O sea, no afecta el audio. So if you want to catch yesterday's show, and I highly recommend it because my daughter had a little sound bite, well, you can go over to wherever you get your podcasts and you can listen to the audio from yesterday's show. And hopefully, fingers crossed, we shouldn't have too many problems with the video as well. I was troubleshooting. Do you know this word? To troubleshoot is to try unplugging things. All right, let me unplug this. Let me restart this. It's doing a lot of different things to try and find the root of the problem. And the way you do that is you eliminate options. You're like, well, it's not the computer because I just unplugged that and I'm getting Wi-Fi on the phone, so it's not the router. So in other words, troubleshooting. It's a really good thing, and it's the first thing you do or should do when things go wrong. Okay, well, what are the things I can do before I have to call Apple or Movistar or whoever? First thing you have to do is troubleshoot. And any manual, I'm sure many of you have seen manuals. They're, any appliances around the house, electrical appliances and things like that. Well, they have manuals, and there's an area, usually in the manuals, that says troubleshooting. And it's literally trying everything to see if you can find the root of the problem, the root of the issue. So, folks, I think everything should be fine in the video. If not, the good news is the audio is recorded on a different source. So no matter what happens to my internet, no matter what happens to the computer, the show goes on. And I've got to admit, though, when I get all those technical problems live, cuando estoy en directo, it is a bit overwhelming. So I apologize, too, if you hear a little bit of panic in my voice, like, oh, shit. I'm like, okay, it's time for the say what soundbite. But really, my tone sounds like I'm saying, oh, shit, what now? So, as I said, the show must go on. But also sometimes when technical things happen, and they always do, it's par for the course. Esto viene con el territorio, es lo que hay. So we know it. And you know what? It makes you appreciate the shows where you don't have any technical difficulties. So, my amigos, let's kick things off and hope for the best. As we say, we're going to kick things off with today's Say What soundbite. Come on.
Say what?
Yes, yes, yes. All right, folks, it is your Say What soundbite. This is where we hear from a famous person, and this guy is like uber famous. I mean, everybody around the world knows who he is, I think. Doesn't matter what continent, doesn't matter what country, doesn't matter what galaxy. It's one of those people that is just really well known. I think you'll probably recognize the voice. If you don't worry, no sweat. What I want you to do initially, as always, in our Say What soundbite, is tell me what you heard. You know, sum it up for me. Resúmelo, sum it up. Great phrasal verb. Sum it up for me in a sentence or two. All right? And hopefully, before the end of the show, maybe somebody will be able to get it all down. I think this one, honestly, today is on the easier side. Tirando para más fácil. It's on the those thick, we say thick, or hard to understand, right? Thick accents. Decimos gruesos o espesos. Thick accents. You can say strong as well. That's another adjective we use when we're talking about accents. Well, I can give you a clue here. This guy definitely sounds like he's from the South. He's definitely from the South, and hopefully y'all are going to be able to figure out who it is. Ladies and gentlemen, here's your Say What soundbite for the first time.
But I want to say one thing to the American people. I want you to listen to me. I'm going to say this again. I did not have sexual relations with that woman, Miss Lewinsky. I never told anybody to lie, not a single time, never.
Me pregunta el del chiringuito si quiero hacer kitesurf o wakeboard o si prefiero tomarme un bitter gas antes. Me acaba de decir 5 palabras en inglés. Kite, divertida
Why?
y adictiva. The Remilk ahora se llama This Book is the Milk Too y viene con audio y nueva portada. Descúbrelos ya en paugantienda.com.
All right, folks, that's right. We've got everything for you, not just my books, but tons of amazing materials that can help you anytime, anywhere. All right, let's rock and roll while you guys are thinking over what you want to say for our Say What soundbite. Let me give you today's pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Yeah. Let's go. Pop quiz. Come on. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. That's right, folks. And today's pop quiz is coming from a material we have at the Von Tienda. It is called Essential English, and it's all that English you need to know in all different kinds of situations. So, my amigos, without any further ado, I'm going to give you a little clip, a little sound clip from Essential English, and we'll see if you guys can figure out some of the vocabulary from there. And as always, if you know me, and I think all of you know me pretty well, I am going to choose some of the juicier, lesser known vocabulary. So here it is, folks. It's available at the Von Tienda. It's called Essential English. And we're going. We were talking about electronics before and things having glitches, problemas técnicos. Well, I thought this would be apropos, another way of saying appropriate. Here it is, a little excerpt from Essential English in today's pop quiz.
Pista 29.
At the electrical store.
Cascos.
Headphones.
Auriculares.
Earphones.
Altavoces.
Speakers.
Teclado.
Keyboard.
Pantalla.
Screen.
Disco duro.
Hard drive.
Impresora.
Printer.
Inalámbrico.
Wireless.
To buy a wireless keyboard and a pair of headphones. Wow, this store is huge. I can't see the headphones. Where are they?
I don't know. Printers, laptops, speakers. Oh, look, the headphones are over there.
Where? I can't find them.
On the top shelf, Alex, there.
I can't reach the top shelf.
I can't reach it either. I'll tell the shop assistant. Oh, there he is. Excuse me, we can't reach those headphones. The ones over there, on the top shelf.
Don't worry, I'll get a ladder.
Thank you very much.
Hey, Sylvia, look at these wireless keyboards.
Yes, I think this one will be fine. Oh, here comes the shop assistant with the ladder.
Okay, let me get this for you. Here. These are the best headphones on the market.
That's exactly what I need. Let's pay for this and go.
Alex, these headphones are a little expensive. Do you really want to spend £230?
What?
Translation time.
1. No alcanzo el estante de arriba. Forma frases del tipo los están arriba, abajo del todo y después están en la estantería de arriba o abajo. 1. Las impresoras, arriba.
The printers are at the top. They're on the top shelf.
2. Los cascos, abajo.
The headphones are at the bottom. They're on the bottom shelf.
3. El nuevo modelo, arriba.
The new model is at the top. It's on the top shelf.
4. El teclado inalámbrico, arriba.
The wireless keyboard is at the top. It's on the top shelf.
5. Los altavoces inalámbricos, abajo.
The wireless speakers are at the bottom. They're on the bottom shelf. Common mistake.
Se lo diré a él, no es,
I'll say him.
sino.
I'll tell him.
1. Se lo diré a ella.
I'll tell her.
2. Díselo al dependiente.
Tell the shop assistant.
3. Díselo a ellos.
Tell them.
4. ¿Se lo puedes decir a ella?
Can you tell her?
5. Me lo puedes decir.
You can tell.
Aplica lo aprendido en otras situaciones. 1. No alcanzo la ventana. ¿Puedes cerrarla?
I can't reach the window. Can you close it?
2. No veo la carretera. Hay mucha niebla.
I can't see the road. It's so foggy.
3. Por favor, firme la parte de abajo.
Please sign at the bottom.
4. Las guías turísticas están en la estantería de abajo.
Travel guides are on the bottom shelf.
5. Las aceitunas están en la estantería de arriba.
The olives are on the top shelf.
All right, there you go, folks. Some English you'll need if you're doing some shopping, not just for ills, but any kind of shopping that you might do. Because, well, any shop, any store that you go to, you've got shelves, right? And shelves, as we know, estantes, estanterías. Remember, one is a shelf. If you've got more than one, they're shelves. It's kind of like the word, for example, knife. One knife, two knives. So there are a lot of plurals that end with F, and you'll see that the F changes to VES. Half, one half. Two halves, right? One half, two halves. Again, you can make a list. You can even go to Chat GPT these days, and you can make a list and make sure that you look at least, even if you don't write them down, you take a look at them on Chat GPT, and I will require you to say them aloud. So calf, gemelo, the plural, calves. Again, I think there are probably around 20 to 30 words that are in common use that have this auriculares, right? But at the same time, I'm going to ask and see if you guys know how to say enchufa y desenchufa los auriculares. All right. Now, what happened? We were just talking about this vocabulary. That's not just going to help you with auriculares. It can help you with the printer, as you heard there. It can help you with the toaster oven, with the dishwasher. So, enchufa y desenchufa los auriculares. Las auriculares. Oh, see, I'm doubting if it's los or laos. Las. Oh, man, why do you guys have to have that in your language? The whole gender thing. It makes things a little bit confusing. All right, so desenchufa y enchufa well, you know.
news report on the show with no name, bringing you the latest breaking news. I'm Alberto Alonso, reporting live.
Hey, wait. Oh, come on. That's gross. What's going on here? Well, folks, when you gotta go, you gotta go. And yes, that even is true when you are flying. Now, we've heard a lot of horror stories about people traveling and then getting the runs or food poisoning, which are kind of linked. Food poisoning means you've eaten some food that has gone bad. The runs is another way to say diarrhea. That's correct. So diarrhea or the runs. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there's this influencer. I always think that's a funny word these days. An influencer, and her name is Megan Reinerston. And well, she's not pretty used to flying. In fact, we call people like that a frequent flyer. Well, she caught a United Airlines flight the other day, and well, right before takeoff, they were doing the safety lecture. She knew, and I quote, "Something is brewing." Algo se avecina, no? We say it before a storm, right? To brew is elaborándose. So if you think about the idea behind the word, something is brewing. She says something is happening that I am not prepared to deal with. And she right? The runs, as we said. All right, well, folks, we've got a lot of stuff to do in this part of the show. So we are going to kick things off with a section where we hear from a famous person. We've already heard this audio clip once, so let's listen to it a second time and we can see what we can extract from it. Here's your Say What soundbite for the second time.
But I want to say one thing to the American people. I want you to listen to me. I'm going to say this again. I did not have sexual relations with that woman, Miss Lewinsky. I never told anybody to lie, not a single time, never.
Hey, Damian, what's crack-a-lackin', buddy?
Hey, Alberto, I was planning to do some sports this week. What about playing baseball?
Ooh, baseball. I love it. But I'm not sure yet. Can we touch base next week?
Touch base. Estamos en contacto, ¿no? Hablamos en algún momento. Yeah, okay. Let's touch base. Okay, what about basketball? Do you want to play basketball?
Oh, man, I love basketball. It's one of my favorite sports. But I don't know if I can this weekend because I've already got plans. Oh, man, that's the way the ball bounces.
That's the way the ball bounces. Así están las cosas, ¿no? Así bota la pelota. Así bota la pelota. That's the way the ball bounces. I love that expression. Okay, what about tennis? Do you want to play tennis?
Well, I love tennis, but I'm not really a good player. If you don't mind playing with a novice, the ball's in your court, buddy.
La bola está en mi campo, ¿eh? La pelota está en mi tejado. All right. Do you want to play some soccer?
Sure, I'd love to play some soccer or football, as you call it. What time do we kick off?
Perfect. We're kicking off at 9. Are you available?
Sure, but I might have to play some golf before with some friends. It's par for the course.
It's par for the course. Es lo normal, ¿no? Es lo normalito, lo que se hace.
Mhm.
Okay, what about billiards? Do you like playing billiards?
Yeah, but right now I'm behind the 8 ball.
I'm behind the 8 ball. Estás detrás de la bola 8, como que llevas las de perder.
Yeah, wow, a lot of idiomatic expressions here.
Muy buenas expresiones. Si es que
Is the shit. That's right. You can pick it up wherever fine books are sold, or you can go over to Von Tienda. That's right, Von Tienda. You got to say it like that. Von Tienda. And you can find everything from our translation booklets to our double troubles. Yeah, there are books with double troubles in them. Tons of double troubles. It's not called double trouble, but I guarantee you can take any of our books, not just a vocabulary book, the ones I had in mind, but you can take any of our books. And I guarantee, in fact, I challenge you to take books, not just mine. I know mine have double troubles in them because I put them there. But you can also go and grab your own. Again, you should always be on the lookout for, siempre buscando, siempre mirando, always be on the lookout for these double troubles because you can find them anywhere. All right. Now, I've given you the Say What soundbite twice. I think everybody knows who it is. It's a pretty easy one. And then even the context, he says some woman's last name, right? All of that stuff gives us clues as to the context, where this is coming from, what's going on. All right. So our pop quiz. The key word there was headphones. And a nice round of applause to everybody who figured it out. Unplug. What we can't say is, we can't say plug out. I've never heard plug out before. Now, obviously, in a logical world, it would be plug in, plug out, but it's not. It's plug in versus unplug. And this is exactly why I'm telling you, because, well, sometimes it's, obvious, and other times it isn't, right? There are cases, well, another example like this, screw it in, right? Tornillalo, apriétalo, or unscrew it. We don't say screw it out, right? So these are just little things, because a lot of times you could just say in and out. And an example where it does work. When you go to work, you clock in, fichar. When you finish your workday, you clock out, right? This is fichar, pero a la hora de salir. So sometimes it works like that, right? Get on the bus, get off the bus, get in the elevator, get out of the elevator. You can also say get on the elevator, by the way. Get on or get into the elevator, get out of, right? And that out of, as you know, so that's just something to bear in mind. All right. So plug in and unplug. Again, it's not just used, obviously, with headphones, but it can be used with anything. An audio cable. It can be used with the dishwasher. It can be used with the dryer, whatever you want. Okay. The next one, the word was clerk. Any Kevin Smith fans? Kevin Smith, the director, he's got a movie called Clerks, and it's a really, really good movie. Clerks, and it's just an easier way, a shorter way of saying shop assistant. And something I always teach my students when we're talking about clerks is a lot of times, especially if there's a commission, like in the United States, what happens is they'll hound you. Están encima de ti. And they'll say, sir, can I help you? How can I help you today, sir? Can I get you? And this is when you really have to say, listen, I'm just browsing. Esa es la frase que es código para déjame en paz, right? Leave me alone. It's a nice way of saying I'm browsing. I don't know what I want. I don't need any help. Is on the fritz. Now, I don't know why, because before the show, when I looked at it, everything seemed to be hunky-dory. Everything seemed to be A-okay. And as soon as I started the show, well, I'm not getting a good connection. So I've already contacted the internet provider, and it won't affect, again, it's not going to affect the audio, but anybody who's trying to watch the video right now, you're probably as frustrated as I am that it keeps kicking me off every 10 seconds to 1 minute. Then there's a lag time, un retraso. So bear with me. Believe me, if you guys are watching the video, there's no way you are as frustrated as I am. But again, I can't really do anything about it. The show must go on. So we're going to go through the content. If you can comment in the video, great. If you can't, you can always do all the exercises we do on a piece of paper, and more expressions, amigos. All right, it's time for today's Spelling Bee. Spelling Bee. Spelling Bee. That's right, amigos. That's right. It's our Spelling Bee here on the show with no name. And as always, this is the this is the section where I'm going to spell some words if I can manage to do that today. Again, you'll have to excuse me, I'm a bit my computer is on the fritz. It will not stay connected. It keeps booting the video off automatically. I don't have to do anything. And then it says, okay, hide video. And I'm like, wait, I didn't do anything though. Why do you keep hiding the video? Just let everyone see it. So, and believe me, to use the word I was teaching you guys before, believe me, I've spent between yesterday and today, I've spent like 6 hours troubleshooting. Disconnecting, unplugging, vamos a usar el vocabulario de hoy, unplugging everything, plugging it back in from the router to the, the connection, the HDMI. I've done it all. And you know what? The irony of it all, la ironía, when I'm not doing the show, I'm like, oh, great. So everything's working perfectly. Great. Internet's going great. Computer's working fine. And then I start the show and I don't know what happens. So it could be. Now I'm thinking, because the only factor that's different is possibly the software that I'm using. So I'm going to look into it. I'm going to continue to troubleshoot. So if you can't participate or you see there are problems with the video, again, it doesn't matter. You can still participate on your own wherever you are. Repeat the expressions that we look at, the vocabulary, and participate in all the different challenges, such as our double trouble and our spelling bee. So is everybody ready for our spelling bee? All right. Well, this is round one. The first one is SPUTN. So, my amigos, there you go. That is round one. We'll see if anybody can get them here in the comments. Although, something tells me here that, in these comments, I'm not going to be able to see them. But you know what? I trust you. I believe in you. And I know somebody got these on the first go. And if you didn't get them on the first go, don't worry at all. You know why? Because, as you know, you're going to get a second chance right now. Now, these words are obviously all related to space. Just be careful. I've heard a lot of students say the space. Well, en español decís el espacio. I'm fascinated by space, not the space. Space is amazing, not the space. So just be careful. It's a common mistake. Also, ya que estamos con NASA también, a lot of people, students, because lo sé, en español decís, han hablado expertos de la NASA. Well, in English, it's not the NASA, it's experts from NASA or NASA experts. So there are two exceptions that we have right now when we're talking about space. Two exceptions where you guys use the definite article, but we don't use the definite article. All right. Well, I'll tell you what, folks, we are going to do round 2. That's right. This is round 2 of today's Spelling Bee. And we'll see if anybody can figure out these words on our second go. All right, here we go. The first one is F-U-T-N-I-K space P-R-O-G-R-A-M. The second one is K-O-R-A-B-L dash S-P-U-T-N-I-K space 2. The next one is S-O-V-I-E-T space U-N-I-O-N. The fourth one is B-E-L-K-A. The fifth one is S-T-R-E-L-K. And the the sixth one is M-I-C-E space ampersand space R-A-T-S.
¿Qué tal vas de ánimo? ¿Necesitas un empujón? ¿Un poco de aliento? No sweat, no te preocupes. Pásate por vaughantienda.com y hazte con nuestro nuevo material multimedia. 365 días de wellness e inglés. Y viene de la mano de tu propio personal trainer profesional, David Gómez Agudo, conocido por sus miles de seguidores en las redes como Fitbull Coach. Trabajarás fitness, mindset, nutrición y por supuesto el inglés. Y viene con más de 250 vídeos para que entrenes junto con tu coach. Es un win-win. Haz que este año sea tu año. Con 365 días de wellness e inglés.
Folks, one of our latest, greatest materials. It is wellness and English, and it's all in one material. You can work on getting yourself in shape while you get your English in shape at the same time. So, my amigos, let's take a look at our spelling bee words before we take a quick commercial break. The first word, Sputnik program. Sputnik program. The second word, Korabl-Sputnik 2. Now, this was the name of the specific vessel that they took. Number 3, you'll recognize this one, Soviet Union. You say Union Sovietica, we say it the other way around, Soviet Union. The fourth one, Belka. The fifth one, Strelka. And the sixth one, mice and rats. And mice is how we would say ratones, right? Mouse es uno, mice es dos. So mice and that symbol, el símbolo and, se llama ampersand. And then the second word was rats. Now, what do all these words have in common? Well, folks, today, the Sputnik program, as many of you know, this is a program that the Russian space program put forth. Well, they launched Korabl-Sputnik 2, which again is number 2 in our spelling bee. And this was a satellite that had 2 dogs in it. It had Belka and Strelka. So Belka and Strelka were number 4 and number 5, respectively. There were also 40 mice, 2 rats, and a variety of different plants. So there you go. Wonderful job to everybody who got our spelling bee words. And I'll tell you what, before we hit our commercial break, let me leave you with a little challenge in today's Homophones.
Homophones,
the show with no name.
The word sumar and the word impar. We'll take a look at that and much more after this quick commercial break, my amigos. Thank you so much for joining us. In the first half of the show, it's really gone by quickly, despite me dealing with all these glitches. If you don't know the word glitches by today, you're never going to know it. All right, amigos. Hey, we use real life to teach English. Why not? We'll be right back with much more. So stick around.
Hey, amigos, welcome back. Welcome back. This is part 3 of today's show with no name here on Vaughn Radio. I hope you guys are laughing and learning, and that you'll continue to laugh and learn with Gretchen. That's right, Gretchen's going to be on board right after. And then you've got Rob and Andy and the Lunchtime Show. You've got Ruby's program, Speak Up. Oh, no, I think they changed the name. Well, stay tuned. Ruby is a master communicator, and you can learn English with her. And right after her, you've got Dave Boyce in the salad. You've got Kyle Miller in Drive Time, Chris Frank and Frankly Speaking, Richard Vaughn and Richard Vaughn Live, Rob Grams and the Pro Bow Show. And if your English is on the fritz, then you need to talk to Fitz. Okay. Hey, I tried. If your English is on the fritz, you need to talk to my buddy Fitz. All right, well, in this part of the show, we're going to take a look at our Say What soundbite. Then we'll take a look at our homophones, and we're debuting a new section, Wacky World Records. We've also got Double Trouble and so much more to do in today's show. So we are going to put the pedal to the metal. Let's kick off with our Say What soundbite for the third time. Listen carefully.
But I want to say one thing to the American people. I want you to listen to me. I'm going to say this again. I did not have sexual relations with that woman, Miss Lewinsky. I never told anybody to lie, not a single time, never.
Listen carefully. Can you hear that? No. Listen closer. I'm not talking about the birds chirping. I'm talking about everybody speaking English and feeling comfortable. Listen. This is what it's like at Vaughn Town, a peaceful place where you can really learn English and lose your inhibitions. There's a reason it's one of our star programs. Vaughn Town, lose your fear of speaking English. If you want more information about this immersive experience, go to grupovaughn.com or give us a call, 911-385831. Lose your fear of speaking English and express yourself with clarity at Vaughn Town.
That's right, my amigos. Vaughn Town, it is something that put us on the map. It made people know all about Vaughn Town. I think Vaughn Town and Vaughn Radio are kind of, even though you could argue, okay, the Masters is very thorough, and you know, I love the impacts, the group classes. But what really gave us a name here in Spain is definitely a combo of Vaughn Radio and the initiative that Richard and his team came up with before I was on board. And that odd numbers, right? An odd number es un número impar, right? Even numbers and odd numbers. Ya que estamos, miramos el otro también. So odd, strange, odd, numbers that are not even. Also, we say the odd sock was left on the floor. That means el que no tiene pareja, right? El desparejado, the odd. We also say odd, as I said before, de vez en cuando. So, for example, he still has the odd whiskey with his friends. Eso es el uno de vez en cuando, the odd whiskey, okay? Also, when we use it with a number, it means unos. So, how many people are there going to be at the party tonight? There are going to be about 50 odd people. I'm expecting 50 odd. Eso viene con guión, right? Hyphenated, right? So did you know it had all those other meanings? And then again, if you add an S, it's the odds, probabilidades. And then from there, we can get the expression contra todo pronóstico, against all odds. You know it? It's a song by Phil Collins. And if don't remind me, I don't know the lyrics, but we can make them up as we go. I know I can't search for them on the internet because, as I said before, we're having some difficulties over here with the internet. But as I said, the show must go on. So odd, very good word to know. Now, the next one is add. Do they sound the same? So add the odd banana. Un plátano cualquiera que tengas por ahí, uno desparejado. Add the odd bananas. Add the odd numbers. Do they sound the same? Absolutely not. So the first one, odd. The second one, add. I caught you. Add. So odd, add. Let's rhyme some words with them. Odd rhymes with rod. Palo o vara, right? Rod. Odd also rhymes with sod. Sod is como un tipo de tierra para. It's not a word you need to know too much. I'm thinking of other words. Odd rhymes with mod. He's a mod. Un moderno. Okay. And then the second one, add, rhymes with bad. It also rhymes with lad. Chico in English británico, or sad. So there you go, my amigos. There you've got your homophones, or I should say they are not homophones, but I didn't fool you guys. You figured it out. What are the odds? ¿Cuál era la probabilidad? All right, folks, it's time for a new section that we've just started to look at. In fact, this week, so this will be the debut. Nobody has heard this section yet. And I have enlisted the help of my daughter. So here it is. It is Wacky World Records.
Wacky World Records. These are the wackiest records in the whole wide world.
That's right, folks. These are the wackiest records in the whole wide world. As I said yesterday, the word wacky. Wacky is chiflado. It's crazy, but it's not like in the bad way. Because if you're like, oh man, this guy is out of his mind, that's usually a negative one. But if you say, he's wacky, he's goofy, es más como loco, gracioso, right? As we know, there are different weights to different words. So we've got to bear that in mind. It's not the same to call somebody a moron than a silly goose, right? If I say you're a moron, I'm insulting you. If I say you're a silly goose, I'm saying, you're joking around, like I say to my daughter a lot of times. So again, there is definitely a weight behind all the words that we use. And it's why it's important, as we know, to choose the right words for the right moment, as we've looked at in the past. When somebody passes away, we don't say, at least in the setting of the family, the funeral, the wake, el velatorio, we don't say, I'm sorry your dad died. No, that sounds kind of harsh. It's the truth. It is what it is. And we can sugarcoat it, but it's a lot nicer to say, I'm sorry for your loss. I'm sorry I heard about your father's passing. I heard he passed away. He passed on. Again, there are many different ways to say it, but you got to make sure it's always better to be a little bit more formal than to be informal. Because if you're informal, well, a lot of times that's when you don't get the job. That's when people give you that look like, who's this guy here who just used a curse word? For example, it's another way of being informal, using informal speak. And believe me, the words you use have a lot to do with the way people perceive you. I think we all know that. It's no secret. Everybody knows it. The way you dress, everything, the smell of your breath, tu aliento. Yeah, that's important. Of course, you want to turn people off, rechazar gente. To turn them on es atraerle. ¿Ves? A veces funciona. You want to turn people on, brush your teeth. Go to the gym, take care of yourself. If you want to turn people off, do the opposite. Don't shower, don't go to the gym, right? Don't brush your teeth, these kind of things. Now, I assume, unless you have some kind of mental problem, which many people do, most people are trying to turn people on, to attract people, right? So that same thing can be said about people who go for world records. Obviously, they're looking to attract the attention of the whole world. And as we know, the source, la fuente, the source for all this stuff is the Guinness Book of World Records. And you've got your records like Usain Bolt, who is still, at the time of this recording, the fastest man in the world. Well, all right, let me ask you this question before I tell you about our record breaker, nuestro batidor de récord. Now, if I asked you right now to stand on one leg, to balance on one foot, you can say the word is to balance, equilibrarte. Do you say the same thing? Well, if I asked you right now to balance on one foot, how long could you do it for? Now, obviously, this depends on many factors, right? If the ground is moving, now, in this case, the ground is not moving. So on flat ground, not on the subway, not on a cruise ship or on a boat that's moving, but on flat ground, what do you think? Be honest. How long do you think you could stand on one foot or balance on one foot? I would say me, and I'm not even talking about getting tired here. I think I just couldn't keep my balance that long. But I would say in my case, maybe 5 minutes. 5? And 5 is a lot. If I'm able to do 5 minutes standing on one leg, well, that's my record. Let's put it that way. I don't think I've ever stood on one leg. Remember, the verb to stand is an irregular verb. Every day I stand. Yesterday I stood. Lately I balancing on one foot was done by a man named Arul Anamtham Suresh Joachim. I'm sure I pronounced it perfectly. Well, it's no wonder I can't pronounce this guy's name. I'm not very familiar with the consonants and the vowels in the Sri Lankan language. That's right. This person was born in Sri Lanka, but lives in Canada. And the record was broken in Sri Lanka, which is interesting. The person returned to their home turf, su territorio, their home turf, to do this feat, esta hazaña. And it took place at the Vihara Mahadevi, that wasn't as hard as his name, Vihara Mahadevi Park Open Air Stadium. Now, that's a long name for a stadium, I've got to say. And this is in Colombo in Sri Lanka. And the record-breaking event took place from May 22nd, do your math here, add, calcula, suma. And we looked at the word add before, deberías saber pronunciarlo ya. and add these dates I give you, the 22nd of May to the 25th of May. Now, do you get an idea how long this guy was standing on one foot for? All right. Well, the 22nd of May to the 25th of May. So we're talking about more than 48 hours? Oh, yeah, much more. 48 hours. Guys, let's rewind here for a second. I don't think I could stand in one spot. I don't think it's healthy. I don't think it's recommended by medical professionals to stand in one spot for more than an hour, 2 hours. You know it. Your lower back starts to hurt. Your feet hurt. Your legs hurt. I mean, it's better. I think everybody, anybody who's ever walked, a full day and stood still a lot in one day, you feel a lot better if you're on your feet walking than if you're on your feet just in one spot. Yeah, right? Because what's happening in there? Well, you're moving, you're circulating. But when you're standing in the same spot, I'm sure it can even cause back problems and problems with your feet as well. So just imagine, if standing for 24 hours in one spot, I mean, I don't think I could do that. And me specifically, because I'm a very restless guy. Soy bastante inquieto. I'm a really restless guy. So I couldn't stand in one spot on both feet for 24 hours. Well, our friend, and I'm going to try and say his name again, Arulanatham Suresh Joaquim, stood on one foot, balanced, you can say either one, balanced on one foot, or stood on one foot for 70. Right? So if you are standing on one foot or standing on both feet, what do you have to do? Something real simple. You have to stay awake, right? Think about it. You can't sleep because when you sleep, what's going to happen? You're going to lose your balance. So let's rewind again here. You don't only have to be standing in the same place, very difficult for those of you who are restless or antsy like yours truly, como un servidor, but also, you can't sleep for 77 hours. Now, I hope it was worth it. Espero que valió la pena. But, well, I guess so. We're talking about this guy on the show with no name. I'm sure he's been on many TV shows and talked about on many radio shows. And again, if you remember the dates, this record stands, otro uso de estar de pie, perdura, it stands since 1997. So this is a record that nobody has broken. And I thought it was a wacky world record, which is why I wanted to share it with you guys. As I said, this is a new section, just like our other new sections, real reviews, which we looked at yesterday, where we'll learn from different reviews people leave on the internet. Generally bad ones. Well, those are the fun ones, right? Son los si todo bien, well, there's not really much to laugh at. So I generally look for some pretty bad reviews, and we learn English. In our last show, we looked at a popular establishment, eatery. It's another way of saying restaurant here in Spain. De hecho, usé eatery porque restaurante, I don't know. And we'll also be looking at airlines. We'll be looking at shops. Again, this will give us vocabulary around all different aspects of life, all things that you can leave a review for on TripAdvisor or on Google. This is Wacky World Records, another new section, which won't be every day. As I said, we're going to kind of be rotating Wacky World Records with real reviews, and then one that will debut tomorrow here on the show, which I'm really excited about as well, because I think it's very useful. And that one's called Life Hacks, which is Truquitos de Vida. So there you go, my amigos. I hope you enjoyed the new section. con que puedes contar. And Old Faithful in this case is double trouble. Yeah. Double trouble, baby. Come on. You know what time it is. Come on. Give it up. Come on. Double trouble. I said double trouble. Double trouble. I said double trouble. All right, folks, it is our double trouble here on the show with no name, and we'll see if you guys know this one. I thought of this one the other day when I was at the supermarket. I was doing some grocery shopping, and I jotted it down. And I said, I'm going to see if my students know this very native way of saying the number 13. Yeah. Do you know there's another way to say trece in English? Well, we're going to find out today. If you knew it, great. You can participate in the double trouble. If you don't know it, don't fret. Don't worry, because you will know it by the end of the section. All right. Él dijo al pastelero o panadero, because I think that's similar in Spanish, the person who works at the pastelería, panadería. Okay. So, él dijo al pastelero, panadero, horneador. Maybe that's another way. Do you say horneador? Somebody que hornea las cosas? Okay. Think like that in English. I'm just trying to, lead you in the right direction there. So, él dijo al pastero barra panadero. I always say that word wrong. My wife used to laugh at me. She said, you said panadería, and it's panadería. Hey, guys, we're all learning here together. That's why I tell you, when you make mistakes, who cares? That's how you learn, right? Until somebody says, what did you say? Did you say panadería? It's panadería. Oh, okay. Oh, and then you take note and you try and correct it next time you say it. Live and learn, as we say. So, él dijo al pastelero barra panadero, I almost said it wrong, que necesitaba 13. 13, lo que sea. We don't have to put what it is. Con eso me vale. All right. So as always in this section, you have to use the same word twice, which makes things a bit more complicated. But I believe in you guys. I'm sure somebody will be able to figure out this other way to say the number 13. Él dijo al pastelero barra panadero que necesitaba 13. There's your double trouble. We'll take a look at that and much more when we come back. In the fourth and final part of today's show, we're going to listen to our Say What soundbite again. We've got Name That Movie. We've got jokes. We've got famous birthdays. Name that lyric. And of course, we're going to solve this double trouble. So we've got a lot to do in the fourth and final part of today's show. I hope you guys will join us for all the challenges and vocabulary that lie ahead. And that lie ahead is a poetic way of saying que nos espera más adelante. I don't know what lies ahead. No sé qué nos espera más adelante. Hey, guys, remember, I said your choice of words is really important. Don't you want to sound a little bit poetic? Why not? Why not? All right, folks, you know how it works. We'll be right back with much more. So let's say my favorite phrasal verb together. Stick around. Hey, amigos, welcome back. Welcome back. This is part 4 of today's show with no name here on Vaughn Radio. Thank you so much for joining us today and every day. I hope you guys are learning. I hope you're laughing. And I hope you'll stay tuned for Gretchen afterwards. That's right. Gretchen will be teaching you some English, how to communicate clearly. That's the key. Do you have to repeat things a million times, or do people usually understand you on the first go? And sometimes it's not about saying more. Quite the contrary. It's about being able to say Then we've got Name That Movie. You're joking. Famous birthdays. And we'll wrap things up, as always, with our Name That Lyric. Oh, yeah. All right, folks. Are you ready for it? This is your last chance. All right. Your last chance to get today's Say What soundbite.
But I want to say one thing to the American people. I want you to listen to me. I'm going to say this again. I did not have sexual relations with that woman, Miss Lewinsky. I never told anybody to lie, not a single time, never.
¿Te gustaría abrir puertas a nuevas oportunidades y estar prepararán para afrontar en inglés todas las situaciones de comunicación en un entorno profesional? No dejes que el inglés sea una barrera. Invierte en tu futuro con el máster de inglés profesional del Grupo Vaughan. Llámanos al 91-133-5833 o entra en grupovaughan.com.
That's right, amigos. That's right. All right, well, you've got your Say What soundbite. So eh, 12 huevos de estos. Give me 12 of these. And the baker would always, not the, in this case, the grocer es la persona que vende el comestible, la comida fresca. And the grocer said, yeah, here's an extra one. So it was a very normal, I don't know if they do it anymore, because now people, you know, you go to your big chain supermarket and you're not going to get an extra anything, right? But back in the day, it was customary, if you bought a dozen of anything, or if let's say it was you bought a kilo of rice, they would throw in an extra scoop or two, especially if you were a regular. You were somebody who went to that place very often. So we call it a baker's dozen. Give me 12 rolls, no, panecillos. And the baker would always throw in an extra one. So when we say a baker's dozen, we mean 13. It's 12 plus the extra one that the baker has added. So if you got that, give it up for yourself. He told the baker that he needed a baker's dozen was the correct answer. The word that we looked at twice there is the word baker, which, as many of you guys know, it's also a very common last name in English. Now, I imagine the etymology is the people named Baker, like as a last name, that somebody in their family, one of their ancestors was a baker. So I imagine that's where that comes from. Well, Johnny Baker's great-great-great-great-great-grandpa twice removed was a baker. So there you go, folks. A baker's dozen. And that is another way of saying the number 13. That's definitely something that you would see in, I don't know, a movie?
Name that movie.
That's right, my amigos. That's right. It is time for Name That Movie. Let's see if you know today's movie, if you can figure it out. The good news, we're even going to learn from the title today. Yeah, sometimes, we learn from the synopsis. Sometimes we learn from the text. Usually we learn from both. From the text, the lines, ¿no? Que dicen los actores, las frases, and the synopsis. And sometimes, if we're lucky, we can even learn from the title, like today. After a one the marriage comes compromise of one's own cultural traditions. Okay? So after a one-night stand with Alex, a one-night stand, you say un rollo de una noche, right? A one-night stand. It comes from comedy. Oh, he's in town for one night. It's a one-night stand. It means thank you very much and I'll see you never. Okay? So after a one-night stand with Alex, and in English, Alex, I think like in Spanish, can be masculine or a feminine name. Alex, Isabel realizes that she is pregnant. She's knocked up. Eso es la forma más decir preñada, right? She's knocked up. She's pregnant, and they decide to get married. However, sin embargo, along with the marriage, junto con el casamiento, comes compromise. Now, compromise is not compromiso, okay? A compromiso is a commitment. And yes, a relationship is a commitment. But to compromise means to reach an agreement, right? To negotiate. Okay, she likes this, I like this. We have reached a compromise. Llegar a un acuerdo mutuo, right? So along with the marriage comes compromise of one's own cultural traditions. O sea, estás como cediendo en tus tradiciones. I think of the word a give and take, un toma y daca. Sometimes you give, sometimes you take. All right, the name of the movie is called Fools Rush In. Does it sound familiar? Wise men say only fools rush in. For I can't help falling in love with you. That's right, fools rush in. Solo los tontos se tiran de cabeza. right? You're saying when you're in love, you don't think, you don't use your brain cells, las neuronas. And it's true. Love makes you blind. So the movie is called Fools Rush In. Again, it's something we say, que la gente que no piensa las cosas, right? People who don't consider things and just dive in or jump in. Well, that's another way of saying to rush in. Okay, ir con prisas, entrar con prisas. Think about it. So you can find it in the song. You can find it in the title of this movie that came out in 1997. Now, this movie, Fools Rush In, stars Matthew Perry, Salma Hayek, and, well, do you need anybody else if you've got Matthew Perry and Salma Hayek? No way. All right, let's take a look at the scene that I've chosen. Isabel says, Alex, don't do this. No hagas esto. There's nothing to say. No hay nada por decir. And then Alex says, just wait a minute. Espera un minuto. There must be. Debería haber. There must be. This afternoon, I couldn't decide between a Texas burger and a tuna melt. Okay, a Texas burger, un burger tejano. Tuna melt is, you don't do this in Spain. Nunca lo he visto aquí. Es muy americano. Es atún de lata with cheese melted on top of it. Yeah. Oh, they're really popular in the United States. Yeah. Tuna melt, we say, a tuna melt. So a Texas burger, I couldn't decide between a Texas burger and a tuna melt, but my life made sense, you know? Pero aún así, la vida tenía sentido. And now I know exactly what I want. And my life doesn't make any sense. Y ahora que sé que quiero, nada tiene sentido. Right? It's like a paradox, if you will. And I was doing fine this afternoon. Iba genial esta tarde. I was doing fine. I was doing great. That was me. It was me then. And now I'm with you. And I don't know what happened. But somewhere between the tuna melt and your aunt's tamales, yeah, esas palabras igual, tamales, right? These stuffed tamale peppers, las de tu tía, your aunt's tamales. I mean, I was actually worried, quiero decir. I was actually worried that I'd already met the woman of my dreams at the dry cleaners en el lavado en seco or something. And I was too busy to notice. Demasiado ocupado para darme cuenta. I was too busy to notice. And you show up. Y tú te presentas. And I realize that's not true. Remember yesterday we looked at to wind up? Well, show up, turn up. Related to arriving somewhere, to going to a certain place, or as we say, heading to a certain place. So he says, and I was too busy to notice. And you show up, and I realize that's not true because you're the one. Tú eres esa. And you're everything I never knew I always wanted, que nunca sabía que lo que quería. And I'm not even sure what that means exactly. Realmente no sé lo que quiere decir eso exactly. o bien se tumba por un lado y se tumba por el otro lado. All right. I've got another one for you. What do lawyers wear to court? What do lawyers wear to court? ¿Qué llevan los abogados a un juicio? What do lawyers wear to court? Easy. Lawsuits. Lawsuits? Pleitos? Lawsuit. Oh. Okay. Not that funny. You get it though? Lawsuit, traje de ley, traje legal, lawsuit, pleito. Remember, the verb is to sue someone. So if you're in a lawsuit, it's because you're being sued. All right. And last but not least, what do you call a priest who becomes a lawyer? What do you call a priest who becomes a lawyer? A father-in-law. Father-in-law. No. A father-in-law? Well, a priest, you say el padre, right? So that one, lo que no funciona la segunda parte, in-law, because you say mi suegro, right? But we say padre en ley, but also father can be dad, or it can also be a priest. Hello, father, I need your help. So, what do you call a priest who becomes a lawyer? A father-in-law. All right, folks, you are lucky. It's time to move on to famous birthday trivia.
One, two, three. Famous birthdays for you. Famous birthdays for me. Famous birthdays for everyone. I'm on the show with no name. Famous birthdays for him. Famous birthdays for her. Famous birthdays for everyone. On the show with no name.
That's right, amigos. It's famous birthdays here on the show with no name. And let's see who's celebrating a birthday today. The first person we've got is, you know the group Cream? In a white room with black curtains. Cream. That, one of the members of Cream, you probably know, Eric Clapton. Well, this guy was their drummer. And his name is panadero, pastelero. Hey, wait, we looked at that word. Oh, so easy. De jengibre. Okay? So, So, if you know these words, then you know this person's name, whether you know the group Cream or not. The drummer of Cream, his name is Horneador de Jengibre. That's right. And he passed in 2019. Number 2, this guy was one of the members of Friends. I say was because he's the only one who has passed away, and he passed in 2023. He was battling drug addiction. And, the guy's been in many movies. The Odd Couple. Hey, we looked at that one. La Pareja. I don't know how you translate that. That's a classic. We looked at the word odd, The Odd Couple. We also looked at Fools Rush In, which is a movie that he's got as well. So, my amigos, if you don't know him, then you're never going to know him. He played Chandler Bing on Friends. All right. And last but not least, this guy did not have sexual relations with that woman. I did not have sexual relations with that woman in my life. I swear I ain't lying. Speaking of lying, we were talking about lawyer jokes. I believe he studied law, and his wife was a lawyer, Hillary Clinton, as well. So that is the reason I chose those law jokes. All right. So, yes, today's 3 famous birthdays. Number 1, Ginger Baker from the group Cream. Number 2, Matthew Perry. And number 3, Bill Clinton. That's right, Bill Clinton. All right, and let's take a look then at today's Say What soundbite. For those of you who figured it out, it was Bill Clinton. And his famous I did not have sexual relations with that woman. We all know he was lying. Now, in retrospect, but let's take a look. Let's take a look at what he said in that famous speech. He says, I want to say one thing to the American people. Quiero decir una cosa a la gente de Estados Unidos. I want you to listen to me. Well, we are if we're watching TV and you're on. And he goes, I'm going to say this again. Lo voy a decir otra vez. This is the one everybody knows. I did not have sexual relations with that woman, Miss Lewinsky. I never told anybody to lie. He says lie instead of lie. I never told anybody to lie. Not a single time. Never. All right, here he is, birthday boy, Bill Clinton.
But I want to say one thing to the American people. I want you to listen to me. I'm going to say this again. I did not have sexual relations with that woman, Miss Lewinsky. I never told anybody to lie, not a single time, never.
All right, there you go, folks. If you didn't know what Bill Clinton sounded like, now you do. All right, it's time to say goodbye with our Name That Lyric.
Hi, hello, Alberto. I think the song is... No? Sorry, bye.
Name that lyric, name that lyric, name that lyric, name that lyric only on the show with no name, the show with no name, the show with no name. Name that lyric only on the show with no name, the show with no name, the show with no name. It's name that lyric only on the show with no name.
That's right, amigos. It's Name That Lyric here on the show with no name. And give yourselves a nice round of applause. If you were with us throughout the 2-hour program today, then you've learned a lot of idiomatic expressions from start to finish. We looked at phrasal verbs, we looked at pronunciation hacks, and all that jazz. So, folks, keep it going. Why not? If you're on a roll, si estás en racha, stay tuned, because up next, you've got the lovely Gretchen. All right, well, today's song is from the group Cream, and it's White Room, probably one of their most famous hits, and it's called White Room, and I think everybody knows that first line. In a white room with black curtains in the station. Black roof country. Roof is techo. No gold pavement. Does it sound familiar, that word pavement? Pavimento. Tired starlings and a tired starling. Una estrellita. Silver horses ran down moonbeams. Silver horses. You could tell they were taking LSD. Silver horses ran down moonbeams. Andaban por rayos de la luna. Oh, my Lord. Well, hey, guys, the song did come out in 1968, so it does reflect that time in the world. So this is Cream. It's by Eric Clapton's original band, and the song is a classic. If you want to follow along, it's White Room. I've always called it White Room with black curtains, but call it what you will. It's a rock classic. Thank you so much for being here, folks, and keep rocking. Yeah! Come on!